It's time for News Tonight with me, Natalie. Let's take a look at our top stories. Coming up this evening, Ghana Health Service on high alert over human metapneumovirus as it cautions public to practice good respiratory etiquette. Also coming up, vigilant citizen exposes alleged diversion of food meant for the school feeding program. And in business, printing press operators welcome nuclear power for electricity generation. In sports this evening, former Black Stars captain Stephen Appiah named vice chair of Black Stars Management Committee. And on the foreign front, U.S. imposes sanctions on Sudan's de facto leader, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. We've got the details of these stories and much more news here on News Tonight's Tuesday. Let's now settle down for the details here on News Tonight. Remember, you can watch this bulletin online. That's on X and Facebook at GHOne TV. We get started in the health sector as the Ghana Health Service says it has heightened monitoring of the surge in acute respiratory infections, particularly those caused by the human metapneumovirus, HMPV, currently spreading across China and other parts of the Northern Hemisphere. In a press release, the service noted that the outbreak is not due to a new virus, unlike the case of COVID-19. It clarified that HMPV-related respiratory infections typically increase during the winter season. The service is urging the public and healthcare professionals to remain vigilant and to adhere to preventive measures, including early detection, to help mitigate potential risks. A statement signed by the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje, stated that the service has held a Public Health Emergency Operations Center meeting and received an update on the National Influenza Center. The service is also urging the public to practice good respiratory etiquette, maintain proper hand hygiene, avoiding face touching, wearing face masks when necessary, as well as seeking early medical attention and adopting a healthy diet. Well, let's stay on this health-related development a while longer. Joining us via Zoom is Director of Public Health of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Asiedu Bekoy. He's joining us for more on this development. Good evening, sir. It's good to have you joining us here on News Tonight. Now, first of all, what more can you tell us about this acute respiratory disease? Have we seen any cases recorded so far?
And thank you very much, and good evening to your viewers. I think that I need to state that our release was based on the premise that there was a lot of concern whether this could be a new pandemic brewing, because I think 4 or 5 years ago, SARS-CoV-2 or COVID started something like that. So the DG called an emergency meeting for us to be clear what to communicate to Ghanaians and then to make Ghanaians aware what we are doing. So what I think I need to communicate is that, so there's a surge in respiratory conditions in part of the Northern Hemisphere. And the viruses concerned are quite known. So you can have the RSV, have the influenzas, you can have the rhinovirus. But then the HMPV, that's the human metapneumovirus, appears to be unknown. So that was causing a lot of concern. So the idea is that, is it a new virus that can cause a pandemic? But what is very clear is that this is not a new virus. It's been on since 2001. So the idea is communicate to Ghanaians to allay anxiety. But then what is also very clear is that respiratory viruses are infectious. So we need to let Ghanaians know, can we be able to detect these viruses in country if they should occur? And the answer is yes. We have a national surveillance system for respiratory infections across all the regions, and that has been in place over the past 15 years. So we have a system in place to detect. The other issue is that if you have such respiratory infections, how do you prevent them? And we actually outline the measures to prevent them. So it's about making sure that you have a cough etiquette, making sure that you wash your hands with soap and running water, making sure that you wear your mask when you are in a very poor ventilated place, and then making sure that you eat well and rest, and then stay at home when you are ill. And I think one thing we also want to communicate is that this particularly HMPV is not that pathogenic compared to maybe other viruses, but then it's severe in some individuals who have a bit of a reduced immune system, and then people who have like asthma, and then the aged. So that's the message that we communicate to Ghanaians.
Right. Now, Dr. Bekoy, with that being said, so you say therefore that there aren't concerns that this virus could spread to the extent of a pandemic, because certainly there are those who are worried and are likening it to COVID-19.
No, so there are two things that you need to look at for a pandemic to occur. One, you must have a new virus. Two, you must have an mutated version of an older virus. So if you look at SARS-CoV-2, it was a novel virus. It has never happened. So now there's no immunity. And then, so this HMPV has been on for the past, say, 24 years. So there's a lot of natural immunity against it. So the propensity for it to become a pandemic is on the low side.
Now, finally, you've spoken about the etiquette, what the public should bear in mind in terms of the preventive measures, but what should we be looking out for just generally to ensure that we don't catch this virus?
Yes, so I think that we need to promote good hygiene. We need to make sure we have measures in place to minimize the risk. So one, let's wear the mask if you are coughing and sneezing. If you are coughing and sneezing, make sure you cough or sneeze into the tissue. Let's wash our hands with soap and running water. This intervention, wash your hands with soap and running water, is a very cost-effective intervention. It prevents cholera, prevents meningitis, prevents HMPV. So it's a very good intervention that I want all of us to practice. And then you need to rest. When you are coughing and sneezing, don't go to work and infect others. And I think that one thing that we need to state is that there's people who are not having comorbidity, not likely to have severe forms of the infection if it will occur in the country. But we have our surveillance system in country that can detect if it will occur. So far, we don't have any evidence of HMPV in the country.
Right. Now, finally, what specific additional measures is the service putting in place to help avert this and ensure it's not widespread?
Yes, so one thing that, thankfully for the media, I want to communicate to Ghanaians that this is not the beginning of a pandemic. It is a precursor that there are a lot of respiratory conditions going on, and people are prone to it when I'll say that you allow yourself to be infected. And clearly, the measures that have been outlined, when you are fully adhering to it, to minimize the risk of infection.
Very well. Thank you for your time this evening. Dr. Franklin Asiedu Bekoy joining us on that issue, Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service. We'll bring you more on it subsequently. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. And some other news this evening. The vigilance of Apostle Frank Gogo, Minister of God in the Volta region, has brought to light an alleged illegal diversion within the school feeding supply chain. Now, his actions, captured in a viral video, exposed an incident involving a school bus from Chito Secondary Technical School unlawfully offloading food supplies into a taxi.
In a shocking revelation, Apostle Frank Gogo exposed an alleged illegal diversion of school feeding supplies. In a viral video, the apostle detailed how a bus from Chito Secondary Technical School was caught offloading about 100 cartons of tin tomatoes into a taxi. The incident occurred between Sokode Bogame and Akrofo in the Ho district at 1:05 p.m. on Friday, January 17. Sensing something suspicious, Apostle Gogo followed the school bus to an obscure location. There, he discovered several cartons of tomatoes being transferred to a taxi. When confronted, the taxi driver admitted he was instructed to transport the goods from the school bus. Amid threats to involve the police, Apostle Gogo filmed the incident, sparking public outrage and raising questions about supply chain irregularities. This comes amidst widespread speculation that food shortages in senior high schools may be linked to hoarding and the diversion of supplies. The incident has highlighted the need for enhanced oversight and accountability in the school feeding program.
Contracted this taxi driver. This is the car number.
Now, still on this development, the Old Students Association of the school have added their voice to the growing concerns calling for heads to roll. In a statement released, they stated that it's very unfortunate to see our bus involved in the above scandal. Moving forward, the students, have placed a call on the school bursary to have a first-hand information on the said incident. Now, it's also gone on to report that from the record, our school went for tin tomatoes and Tom Brown from the supply center in Mawuli School. Our school, that's Chito Secondary Tech, was given 50 cartons of tin tomatoes, while Awusko was allocated 150 cartons of tin tomatoes. So our school bus took the delivery of these 200 cartons and a quantity of Tom Brown for the two schools. Inventory at the two schools revealed that the driver delivered all the consignments meant for the two accordingly. The statement further reads that further checks revealed, however, that what is circulating in this viral video, it states towards the concluding end that what's circulating in this viral video was an additional 100 cartons given to the driver based on arrangements between the storekeeper and the supply center to offload it at the said place. It rounds up by stating that the driver accordingly discharged these smuggled goods, which are not part of the consignment for Chito Tech and Awusko at the agreed location to then be given to an unknown destination, and the storekeeper and the supply center have an issue to report to with the said assignment given the driver. And it's signed by Peter Asante, the Old Students National Organizer of Chito Secondary Technical. Well, let's now get onto the phone lines and engage with Apostle Frank Gogo, who's joined us now. He put this video forward and has now brought light to this incident. Now, good evening. Thank you for joining us, Apostle. It's been about 30 hours since your vigilance helped to expose this act of illegality. Aside the response from the old students, have you been able to uncover where these 100 cartons of tin tomatoes have been sent as it stands?
Yeah, good evening to you, and good evening to your listeners. My name is Apostle Ekacho. So I'm speaking from Volta again, okay? So can you come back with your question again?
Right, so I'm asking that aside the response coming in from the Old Students Association, have you been able to find out where these tin tomatoes have been sent to now?
Yes, due to the information I have yesterday, the tomatoes were coming from whole Mauli School to the Sectec before they divert the tomatoes to Akrofu Road, which is between Akrofu and Sokode Bogame. That was what I know.
Now, first of all, what spurred you on to follow up on this development? Why was it of such importance to you to do so?
Yes, I think we are all complaining about the economy, and then we see the challenge Ghanaians are going through. So for such things to be happening, look at the amount of the quantity of the boxes of the tomatoes, that can be estimated to close to 50,000 Ghana cedis. In case another person is also doing it somewhere now, how much is the government going to lose at the end of the day? And I'm not doing this for politics. I'm doing this as a citizen of Ghana, which I'm never ready to continue doing this. Anytime I'll say something that will not go well, I have to draw the attention of the leaders and the security service to take care of it. So I saw the bus with where the bus was coming from was very, very, very suspicious, because I know that those buses have some special assignments between the students and not in a safe place like that bush environment. That really drew my attention that there was something suspicious going on. So I have to drive further and wait behind to see exactly what they are going to do. And I know the president came out only last week to appeal for the school feeding program. Which maybe I know that things are not going well with the secondary school concerning their feeding issues. So for all this to be happening, and as a Ghanaian to see this and keep quiet, I think I will not be fair to Ghana, and I will never be fair to the students that are in school now. So that motivates me to do that.
Right. Now, Apostle Gogo, have you officially reported this to the police currently?
Yes, I reported to the role. I was the one who called the whole central police station. And then they came with a patrol team. And then I called the regional chairman for NDC2 as well when I was there. And then I sent them the video before they moved to the scene. So it was the police vehicle that came to convey some of the items together with the driver and the Opel Astra, and they sent it to Central Police Station. So I'll be going to write my witness statement, and I promise to follow this case to the bottom.
And has the taxi driver been arrested?
Yes, he's arrested currently at the custody at the whole Central Police Station.
All right. Now, do you have any specific information on whether the school bus driver, who was involved, whether he's been apprehended?
Not yet. A colleague pastor called me this morning. I think they went to him to lead them to my residency. So I don't know what they were trying to do. So I told my friend I'm not going to meet them. This is not about myself. It's about the government, and it's about Ghana. So he shouldn't take this for granted that maybe he's my colleague as a man of God, and I'm going to have any secret meeting with them. So they should go and report themselves to the police, and then they should explain. Maybe what we are suspecting, that is not what they are doing. So the police will tell at the end of the day, and I know the law will take its own course.
Right. Now, finally, your actions on revealing this development has sparked very critical conversations. How committed are you to carrying this through till the end?
Come again?
I'm asking how committed you are to seeing this case through till the end.
Oh, I'm never ready. I'm never ready to witness anyway. I'm ever ready to do so. And justice must prevail. I'm never ready. I'm not just going to watch it. No, I'll follow up. If it is court, we have to go. I'll follow up. So I will know the details about everything, and those things have to go to the right place.
Apostle Frank Gogo, thank you for your time this evening. We'll re-engage in subsequent bulletins as the case develops. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Let's turn to some other stories now, as the Eastern Regional Minister Designate Rita Akosia-Ejay Awete has paid a courtesy call on the chiefs of Krobo Land, her hometown, seeking their support and blessings ahead of her vetting. The nominee acknowledges numerous challenges facing the region, including security challenges, illegal mining and youth unemployment, hence called for support of the traditional authorities to address these issues. Eastern Regional Correspondent Kojo Ansah was there and reports.
The Eastern Regional Minister Designate Rita Akosia-Ejay Awete has paid a courtesy call on the chiefs of Krobo Land, her hometown, seeking their support and blessings ahead of her vetting. During her visit, the minister designate and her entourage engaged with the Menya Krobo Traditional Council, Okpe and Yilo Krobo Traditional Council. Nene Sakite, the paramount chief of Menya Krobo, expressed delight at her nomination by President John Dramani Mahama, pledged the full support of the Traditional Council. Nene Sakite, also the president of Eastern Regional House of Chiefs, expressed confidence in her competence and assured that chiefs and queens and queen mothers from Krobo land would attend the vetting to show solidarity.
And I'm personally happy that President Mahama appointed our daughter to represent him in the Eastern region. Very soon, she'll be going through the vetting process. And what I just know her is that we will support her all the way to the vetting, so that when she sits in front of the camera, they will see a whole lot of good mothers and chiefs behind her. So she will know that she has support. She must not be afraid of anything.
Similarly, Cleme Nwe Anobasa Seku II, the paramount chief of the Eurokrobo Traditional Council, pledged unwavering support from his council and praised her commitment to the region's development.
Regional Minister of Eastern Regional, it should also stand out. Ka Omape, an outstanding regional minister that has never happened.
In her remarks, Rita J. assured the chiefs of her dedication to addressing critical challenges in the region.
Rolling down from Plains North, South, through Pau, Sudan, New South, Abrim, okay, to where we are, to Sudan. It's a big place. We have a lot of challenges. We have security challenges. Our roads are not that good. We need potable water to drink. Our youth want to work. Our women need to go to market.
She emphasized her commitment to serve with humility and work closely with traditional authorities to advance the region's progress. For GHOne TV and Star FM, Kojo Ansa, Krobo Land, Eastern Region.
The appointment of a practicing Muslim, Mohammed Abdul Salam, as acting CEO of the National Lottery Authority has set tongues wagging, sparking intense debate among Muslims. At the heart of the controversy lies a clash between faith and duty, as Islam firmly prohibits gambling, labeling it a sin. GHOne News' Leha Nuhu visited Nima, a predominantly Muslim community, and engaged residents on the matter. While some residents argue Abdul Salam should uphold his beliefs and reject the position, others see no conflict in him taking on the role.
The appointment of Mohammed Abdul Salam as the acting CEO of the National Lottery Authority has sparked debate in several communities. As a Sunni Muslim, Abdul Salam's beliefs have become a point of discussion as Islam prohibits gambling.
As far as it's a government, it's our government who is appointing him. He's just heading the institution, and so we don't have any problem with that.
Islam entirely frowns on anything gambling, betting, and so on. So I don't see it as a point that a Muslim who has a lot of faith will go for such a position.
I don't think the government forced him to accept that position. There's a consultation, and he himself accepted that appointment.
Christians, Muslims, Lotto, so no, I didn't decide. Fine.
To appoint a Muslim to the National Lottery of Ghana, according to Islamic Sharia, is not right.
We are caught in Lotto. We have seen Mala. big malans. They are cutting lotto. Lotto is a game, so we dey inside. Malon control everything. We dey with you.
So you take lotto, you stake lotto.
I stake lotto. See numbers. Oh, you can't see well. Let me make it neat. Numbers. Have you seen?
Yes.
We dey inside lotto. Mala, we dey with you. Keep on. GHOne.
Well, away from that, the petroleum sector has witnessed key appointments made by President John Mahama to important institutions. Lawyer GHOne Eduji Tamaklo will be heading the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, as its chief executive officer. The NPA serves as the regulatory body overseeing Ghana's petroleum industry, ensuring its operations align with international standards and contributes to national development. The president has also appointed legal practitioner Victoria MFR Hardcastle as acting chief executive officer of the Petroleum Commission. Victoria has previously served on the board of Petroleum Commission and has wealth of experience in the energy sector. The two announcements were made in a press release issued by the presidency on Friday, January 17. On Saturday, January 18, Afechi Awono was also appointed as the acting managing director of the Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company Limited, BOST. Afechi Awono brings an exceptional track record of transformative leadership in sub-Saharan Africa's energy, oil, gas and mining industries. The appointment was made in accordance with Article 195, Section 1 of the Constitution and Section 11, Subsection 1 of the Petroleum Commission Act 2011, Act 821. The Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, are hopeful the recent impasse between them and government over failure to migrate them to university lecturer status. Currently, academic and administrative activities in the 46 colleges of education have come to a complete halt following the declaration of a strike by members of CETAG. The industrial action commenced on January 2, 2025 over government's failure to implement an arbitration award to the association by the National Labour Commission in May 2023. GHOne News understands the Controller and Accountant General's Department has commenced the migration process. President of CETAG, Maxwell Bunu, says they are hopeful that the impasse will be resolved by January 22.
Where we have gotten to, as I speak with you, we are close to finding solution to our concern. If not all the issue, actually a major one, that is migrating staffs onto the university salary structure. And you also are aware that because of our strike, the non-teaching staff also indicated their intention to embark on strike. So that actually forced Prinkov, our immediate employers, to defer the reopening from 13 to 27. So as we speak, students are not supposed to come to college. So there's no problem actually with that. What we are looking forward to is to make sure that our concerns are resolved within these few days left, so that come 27 we should be able to return to the lecture halls, and we are hopeful that the concerns will be addressed. We have indicated that we have gone through a lot of turbulent times, and we as leaders have become liars before our very colleagues, because we have shown a lot of goodwill and they have promised you, and you come back and you happily report to your people that by so and so date this issue will be resolved. The dates come and nothing happens. So our colleagues are no longer at this moment ready to listen to any promise. All that they are looking forward to is that money should be paid into their account.
In some other news this evening, the Krontinhene of Achim Esuom, Nanabwedu Amponim Obodade III, has charged President John Dramani Mahama to initiate parliamentary processes to give legal backing to Operation Recover All Loot Oral. According to him, the move to clamp down on corruption in the public sector should not end with this administration.
I am begging the president. I am begging the powers that be. Please, go to Parliament. We have 2/3 majority, for goodness sake. Enact the laws that should back oral so that oral can have all the capacity, the legal right to prosecute, the legal right to go to court, investigate, and subject all these people to what Ghanaians want. We actually voted for President Mahama and for NDC because of oral. It was one of the #1 reasons why we voted for NDC. And so for it to just listen to what the other party is saying and then to just go and give it over to OSP, for me, is a no, no, no.
On to education-related issues. Teachers in the Ejumako Enyan Esiam district of the Central Region are appealing to the Education Minister-designate, Haruna Idrisu, and by extension the government, to continue from where the MPP left off in STEM education. According to them, science, technology, engineering and mathematics education is essential to building well-rounded students to compete in the 21st century job market.
Lecturers, tutors and teachers in the Ejumako Enyan Esiam district wants the government and the newly appointed education minister to prioritize STEM education for students at the basic and senior high school level. A lecturer at the University of Cape Coast and also branch president of Ghana Sciences Association, Dr. Benjamin Abuaje, stressed the importance of STEM education and the need to continue the strides championed by the erstwhile NPP government.
What the government has started, we want to encourage the government to continue what they have started and expand it, and make sure that at least there will be a resource center in every district for not just the secondary schools but the basic schools as well, that the students can be brought to the resource center and they can have hand-on experience with these electronic and other scientific materials which are going to inform their decision in reading science at the higher level, maybe second cycle, and the universities.
On his part, STEM education coordinator for Ejumako Enyan Esiam district, Kofi Abochi Mawena, during the 2025 STEM education workshop for science educators in the district, appealed to the government to extend support to the directorate to boost STEM education.
Year in, year out, our teachers have been changed due to classification. Sometimes they are transferred. And when we finish the workshop, their complaint is that they are still deficient. They cannot handle the subject. That is why I call on the lecturers from UCC, our teachers, the lecturers themselves, to come and remediate the challenge. So I'm expecting that by the end of this workshop, they'll be properly equipped.
Science teachers in basic schools in the Ejumako Enyan Esiam district also expressed their gratitude to the STEM education facilitators while promising to utilize knowledge gained at their various schools.
I came here to see and know a lot of things, even the curriculum that we are using. It's in the school, it's with us, but sometimes you don't make time to read the pedagogies and a lot of skills that we're supposed to know before getting to the classroom. So the facilitator who came first took us through a lot of things and I've benefited a lot.
I'm going to make sure I apply all the pedagogies, everything that has been taught here, to make teaching of science fun in the school. But if children are taught to play with science, children are taught that science is the essence of our living, the years ahead of us is going to be STEM. Everything is going to be science, technology field. So if children are taught the right thing, they end up pursuing science at higher levels of education.
The 2025 STEM Education Workshop for Science Educators in the HMPV ACM district brought together dozens of teachers in the district with the aim of boosting STEM education there.
You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV and online at GHOne TV. Do stay with us. We bring you business news shortly. We bring you business news next. In business this evening, operators of printing presses in Accra Newtown have expressed enthusiasm for the adoption of nuclear power for electricity generation. According to them, the high cost of power significantly erodes their profit margins, hindering growth and expansion. Consequently, they are advocating for the government to expedite the inclusion of nuclear power in the power generation mix to supplement hydro and thermal generation. Calvin Powell has more in this report.
Generating electricity using nuclear power involves harnessing the energy released from the splitting of atomic nuclei, a process known as nuclear fission. Nuclear power plants utilize enriched uranium-235 as fuel. When a neutron collides with a uranium atom, it causes the atom to split, releasing more neutrons and a substantial amount of energy. The released neutrons then collide with other uranium atoms, including a chain reaction of fission reactions. The energy released from the fission reactions heats up water, producing steam. The steam drives a turbine, which is connected to a generator. As the turbine spins, it drives the generator to produce electricity. The generated electricity is transmitted to the power grid and distributed to homes, businesses and industries.
It's going to impact we the industry people very much, because currently we are spending so much on electricity. At home it's something else, but in companies where we use so much machines, printing machines, digital, large formats and all that, they consume a lot. So if government should introduce this atomic power, I think it's going to cut down the cost of electricity that we use here.
The power is expensive now. Initially we were using the old meters, which the consumption was high, but it was a little better than the new ones they introduced recently. Initially we used to spend about 30 to 35 cedis a day, but since they bought the new ones, we spend about 70 to 100 cedis a day. I think approximately about 2,000 to 3,000 within the range. I think the government should push hard on it if it's going to make the price of electricity cheaper.
Kwame Jantua, chairman of the oil and gas sector of the Ghana Association of Industries, AGI, emphasized that affordable tariffs serve as a catalyst for industrial growth. He lamented the situation where industries such as the Volta Aluminium Company, Valco, cannot operate at full capacity due to unavailability of substantial power.
If Valco starts operating now, we are in doomsday. The quantum of energy Valco needs, I reckon, at this particular moment, where we don't have a challenge with for the past few years we haven't had a challenge with hydro, but the kind of power Valco needs, I can say it's only nuclear that can give that kind of power. Even our gold industry, our gold refinery, is it working? Do you know whether it's working?
In an interview, Benjamin Boachi, Chief Executive Officer of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, stressed that the government must sanitize the energy sector to avoid revenue leakage, boost investor confidence, and collaborate with the private sector to achieve reliable power generation for sustainable growth through the adoption of nuclear energy.
What is important for us to note is that the consumer is looking for power that is reliable and affordable. The way to achieve reliable power is to ensure that cost is controlled. And by controlling cost, you're interested in the contracts and negotiations and signings to make sure that the most optimal option is actually selected. Beyond that, then you can then look at what options also reduces cost. To be able to get a nuclear power plant, you really need to assure the investors that they'll be able to get their money back. So if your power system is not able to pay for the power that is sold now, it's difficult to convince any investor that when they put in all the billions that are required to put up a nuclear plant, they will get their money back.
Stakeholders in the nuclear energy sector are being urged to intensify education and awareness about safety protocols in nuclear power adoption for electricity generation and the numerous advantages associated with it.
And that's it for business news this evening. Stay with us. Sports news is next.
Right, you're welcome to the sports segment here on News Tonight. Well, let's start with our very first story that has to do with Black Stars Management Committee. Well, so the former Black Stars captain Stephen Appiah has been named as vice chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee. He's going to be assisting Dr. Randy Abe, who is chairman of the management committee. So the announcement was made today by the Ghana Football Association.
Committee overseeing the team's administrative and logistical aspects will be chaired by Dr. Randy Abe, an executive council member of the GFA and CEO of Pando Heart of Lions. Stephen Appiah, former captain of the Black Stars, will serve as vice chairman, focusing on player relations. Other members include Mr. Samuel Abuabire, chairman of the Greater Accra Regional Football Association, Moses Ama, president of Midiama Sporting Club, who will handle operations and match day activities. Mr. Richard Nsenture, president of FC Samatex 1996, will be responsible for special duties. The committee will manage team operations, set strategic plans, facilitate camping arrangements, and ensure logistical support while maintaining communication between the technical team and the GFA.
All right, still staying with the senior national team, the Black Stars and LA Galaxy winger Joseph Pentil is confident about the chances of the senior national team, the Black Stars, sailing through to the 2026 World Cup to be staged in Mexico, Canada, and the United States of America. He said this in an interview with EIB Sports.
Do you see the Black Stars qualifying for the 2026?
Yes, I do.
You're positive?
Yeah, really positive. Full force, yes. I do, because it's something that's really dear to me. I also want to play in the World Cup. I never had the opportunity to. So me having the opportunity now to qualify and to represent myself for my family, for my friends, it's really something important for me. So for me going onto the field, I need to give everything. So that's the most important thing. And each and every player is also going to do the same thing, because now is the time for us to show ourselves now. So all we need to do is just to refresh ourselves, come back and just fight for the right for Ghanaians, because they really deserve it. Upon everything and the criticism and everything, if we win and qualify for the World Cup, that will be everything for them, because now a lot of Ghanaians' tickets are really in our pocket now, and I think we have to make sure that they have that ticket in the World Cup, and we are going to do everything possible to make them smile and, you know, bring that love again back to the
Right, so that was Joseph Pentil, the Black Stars and LA Galaxy winger. Let's now turn our attention to the local front and bring you something on the Ghana Premier League, because the league has resumed. It's coming up tomorrow at the various league centers, and Kumasi Asante Kotoko is poised. They will be at home at the Babayara Sports Stadium, and they are going to be in action against Vision FC, who travels all the way to Kumasi. And in Samra Boy, we'll be seeing league defenders Samatex come up against Accra Hearts of Oak, who are on winning ways. And then in Swatraman, will be at home in BA. They face Karela United from the northern region. Baseke Holy Stars will square it off with Adriana Stars, whilst Accra Lions will be hosting the Gold Stars, Bibiani Gold Stars, in their fixture. Brekum Chelsea will welcome Midiama in their fixture, whilst Heart of Lions will be squaring it off with Nations FC, and Young Apostles will also be settling score with Bichi United. It's going to be an all-Bronga half affair in that fixture. Legon Cities will be in Accra, and they will be facing Dreams FC in that particular order. All right, fixtures there for you. Match week 17 in the Ghana Premier League is resuming tomorrow, so make sure you turn out to support your various teams. All right, let's turn our attention away from the local scene and bring you something on the English Premier League games that were played today. It was all action for Bournemouth. Semenyo was in action for his side, and they won by 4-1 on winning ways. He was on the assist for his side. 4-1 that game ended against Newcastle United. So Semenyo's side winning by 4-1 in their clash. Well, so there was another fixture this afternoon. The game that was played later after Semenyo was Brentford, who took on Liverpool, and Liverpool ensured that they got all 3 points needed, still leading the log in the English Premier League with 2 goals. It was Darwin Núñez who got 2 goals there in the dying embers of the game, the 91st and the 93rd minute of the game. It ended 2-0 in favor of Liverpool. And also Crystal Palace, Mateta making sure that he got 2 goals for his side, 1 from the spot kick and also a goal in injury time. So 2-0 that game ended in favor of Mateta's side, Crystal Palace. Well, so Fulham also were at home and they made sure they got all 3 points needed with a 2-0 win over Leicester City in their fixture. It was Smith-Rowe and Adama Traore who was on the score sheet for Fulham. All right, so still staying with the English Premier League. Remember, tomorrow there are games also coming up, obviously mouth-watering ones and crunchy draws coming up in the English Premier League games tomorrow. Manchester United will definitely be in action. They'll host Brighton Hove Albion. We're going to see Everton also. They will be at home. They take on Tottenham Hotspur. Obviously, the top liner for Sunday, and Nottingham Forest, who are doing well in the league, they will be facing Southampton. Ghanaian interest there, obviously, our very own in action for Southampton. We're going to be seeing Ipswich Town also will be at home. They face Manchester City in that particular order. So these are the games coming up tomorrow in the English Premier League. All right, so before we wrap up, let's bring you an update from the Australian Open, and I'm talking about British number 1. She's been edged out of the Australian Open, Emma Raducanu. She's an experienced number 1 in Britain, and she's been edged out by Swiatek in the Australian Open. So she crashed out, losing 6-1, 6-0 in their game, not being able to progress to the next round of the Australian Open. All right, that's it for sports here on News Tonight. My name is GHOne Champong. Over to you, Natalie.
Now let's turn to some entertainment news this evening. Some arts sector are optimistic about Abla Jifa Gumeshi's ability to deliver as Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. You may recall that from 2013 to 2016, she was the Deputy Minister under Mohammed's previous administration. For many, her success as Deputy Minister might have influenced her elevation to the role of substantive minister in John Mohammed's second coming. My colleague Dinah Binyam interacted with some artisans at the Accra Arts Centre, and they are upbeat that she will be able to deliver. We'll bring you that detailed story later here on GHOne TV. Let's bring you some international news next. Thousands have gathered in Washington, D.C. to protest against the incoming Trump administration. The People's March is due to draw up to 50,000 people to the U.S. Capitol, according to organizers, but police put the expected total at 25,000. Meanwhile, last-minute preparations are continuing for the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump after the ceremony was moved indoors due to the cold weather. Trump is due to arrive in D.C. later for a series of events before being sworn in on Monday. And in some more international news, United States sanctions on Sudan's army chief and aide de facto leader Abdel Fattah al-Burhan have come into effect. The news on Thursday came a week after Washington announced the same measures against his rival, Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, who leads the Rapid Support Forces, RSF. The paramilitary group and the army have been engaged in nearly 2 years of civil war, which has seen tens of thousands of people killed. Over 12 million Sudanese have been driven from their homes by the fighting, which has pushed the country to the brink of famine. Washington accuses Burhan of choosing civil war over negotiations to bring an end to the conflict. It says that under his leadership, the army has indiscriminately bombed civilian infrastructure and conducted extrajudicial killings. We've got lots more international and local stories available on our website at starfm.com.gh, so be sure to log on there. Thank you so much for making the time to watch News Tonight this evening. I'm Natalie. It was produced by Joshua Kojo Mensah.